Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to discuss about artificial intelligence in the business. Artificial intelligence and the machine learning are now mainstream business tools. They are being applied across many industries to increase profit, reduce cost, and save lives and improve customer experience. Organizations which understand these tools and know how to use them are benefiting all the expenses of the rivals. The objective of the presentation is to cut through the technical jargon which is often associated with artificial intelligence and machine learning to deliver a simple and conscious introduction for manager and the business people. The focus is very much on the particular applications. It's formulate free. A simple working definitions of artificial intelligence. A good AI application can perform as well as or better than the average person when faced with everyday task. Example of AI in practice: the ability to identify people from their Facebook photo, assessing someone credit worthiness more accurately than an experienced underwriter, the ability to beat the best Go and chess players, digital personal assistants such as Amazon Echo and Applied Siri, being better at spotting the sign of cancer on a medical scan than an expert radiologist, traveling from A to B and avoiding hitting things on the way. A mistake to avoid is thinking current AI applications are in any way intelligence in a human consciousness way. It's all just clever maths at the end of the day. Despite the hype appearance in the media, most experts agree that we are away from creating a machine with a true human line sense of self with the could pass as human day in and day out. General AI research has been a standard. There are lots of different avenues being exposed. Machine learning involved the use of mathematical procedure to analyze data. The goal is to discover useful patterns between different items of data. People who buy crickets often buy white wines as well. Lack of exercise is correlated with the heart disease. A poor credit history is associated with a high insurance claim. An example: imagine the government want to screen everything in the populations for their livelihood of developing heart disease in the next few years. This is a good example the machine learning process to use to generate a scorecard type model. Scorecards are very simple and easy to understand as in the example below. The score distribution stability has been created by running all 500,000 courses in the development sample against the scores to generate a score for each use case. Okay, so how to use? We use the predictions. The government has indicated that it can afford to invite 5% of the population for a checkup. Object recognition. The goal of an object recognition system is to identify what object is present in an image, example, a photo. The underlying principles are the same as for the heart disease problem. A large development sample is taken. The sample contains thousands of images of objects such as washing machine, chairs, umbrella, and so on. Each image is labeled to say what type of object it is. Pictures 1, picture 2, and 3 and 4. Object recognition. The pixels that form each image are analogies to paint data for the heat disease problem. So a scorecard is just one type of predict model. There are a lot of type of model, some far more complex than scorecards. Some are much more predictive than scorecards in some case, but not always. Some type of model are better suited to certain type of problem than others. For some type of problem, many different type of model perform equally well. There is no one type of predictive model that can be said to outperform all other in all situations. Decision trees. To calculate a score for something using the decision trees is important. The decision tree is used in the same way as the scorecard to the make decision using a score distribution table. Our brain contains billion upon billions of neurons, each interconnected of yield trillions of connections. It is combinations of neurons and the connections between them that drive out ability to think and act intelligently. A neuron is a machine learning term, is not a living things that been grown by a mad scientist is a convert lab somehow, but is a simple and the simplest representations of how natural resource neuron behave and created using equations and implementation as a computer code. A patient data such as age, BMI, etc. provide the input to the neurons. Each input is multiplying by a weight. The input multiplying by their weight are added up to the gate and initiate. The initial score is transformed. So a neuron is the context of AI and machine learning is not always mysterious and complex. The first formula multiple each of the input varies by a weight and add up the total. The second formula then modify the value so that it lies within a fixed range. It is as simple as that is. A neural network is created by combining several neurons together. The input to the each neuron is a given layer at the same, but the weight within each neurons are different. The output from the first setup of the neuron provide the input to the second set of neurons. The neural network. The reason why neural networks are so popular is that ability to detect subtle pattern in the data with other simple methods such as scorecard and the decision tree and may not be able to find. That means that that can potential generate more accurate prediction than sorted and decision tree models. Deep learning respects the latest evolutions of the neural networks model. The neural network example on the previous slide effectively has two layers of neuron and the structure is used very successful in many traditional neural network applications. However, there is no reason why there cannot be many more layers. That's one trend to find that as more layers are added, so the ability of the network to identify complex and or subtle pattern increase, as well as expanding the number of neurons and layer is a neutrons. Other avenue of the research associated with the deep learning consider how the neuron in the network are connected. In a standard network, however, other configurations are possible. Complex deep learning model based on various type of neural network. A very complex model is only required for a very complex problem. It is old age. You do not need a sledgehammer to crack a nut. If you apply to a very complex machine learning approach to a very simple problem, then something you will get a worse result than if the simple model is used. A prediction model on its own is not a very user-friendly thing. It generates score when present the data. It does not interact with the people directly. It does not appear intelligence. Model need to be integrated within your organization business system if they are going to add value. Data input, data processing, application of the prediction model, decisions rules, and output is important. So there is a two way who is the heart disease and the model could be deployed. One is selections tool for the doctor and another was is self-diagnosis tools for patient. A complex AI application often deploy multiple interacting prediction model combined with the lot of decision rule. For the patient self-diagnosis tools on the prediction slide, a second prediction model would typically be incorporated into the app. This model would predict what was being spoken and map this to the data itself required by the heart disease predictive model. Assess how a good an AI application is. Is your organization ready for AI and machine learning? Machine and legal considerations. Machine learning has no social awareness and no consciousness. Pattern are patterns, and when these patterns may be, if the patterns that found during machine learning are undesirable outside social norms or illegal to use, then the need to be deals. It's very easy to get excited about the math and prediction model generated by the machine learning process. However, one must not lose sight that the fact that one is trying to solve a business problem. Having a very accurate prediction model is only useful if you have a real problem to apply it to. Putting together a project is always important. A checklist for the business success bring more success for the organizations. A checklist for the success. What is your business problem? What metrics do you wish to optimize? What type of decisions, rules, and action will you apply? What will be the data to machine learning come from? How will your organization the machine learning process? What are the ethical, legal risk associated with automations? Is all record data valuation operational? Do you need control to ensure decisions are act upon? How we will access the success of the project? What are ongoing cost of minimize the system? Learning, aviation functions, algorithm, big data, causations, classifications model, cluster, and convoluted network. Learning, correlations, cards of score, data science, data scientists, decisions rules, decision tree, deep learning, development sample, and so on. This way, we can mobilize and ensure that artificial intelligence can bring more success in the effective model. In real world application, one would produce the score distribution from a second independent validation sample. The Gini is a very common measure used by data scientists to measure the discriminatory ability of predictive model. This way, we can analyze these things in an effective way. That's all for today's sessions. Thank you. Bye bye and take care.